Hey, so for those of you that might know, you might have seen me on season 17 of American Ninja Warrior in episode 2, which was a dream come true. That was so big for me, and I know for those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that I've been training for the past 4 years, and it's been my dream since I was 7 to compete on this show. And I was bedridden for 3 years with Lyme disease, so competing on such a big stage and living out a childhood dream was just like amazing. So in this video, I'm going to be giving my reaction to my run, so the footage that they aired, and then I'll also be giving my reaction to the behind the scenes part of my run, so you can kind of hear my thoughts and just my insight on what it was like actually competing on the course. And if you want to get some of your own Lyme Ninja merch, you can go to my website. The link is in the description, and you can get some of your own. And so right here, this is the footage from the How to Train Your Dragon episode that I was in. So they're marketing, for the live action How to Train Your Dragon, and it was a really cool experience. I actually didn't know that they were going to do that when I got there, so I didn't know I was in that How to Train Your Dragon episode. And I showed up, and I just literally saw, when they're going over rules, so they're going over rules for the course, and I just saw Toothless. He's just chilling right there, and I'm like, why is Toothless here? And then they told us, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. So that was cool. Let's watch the footage again.
Teenager Talon Yorn wanted to raise awareness for Lyme disease and asked us to try the Lyme Challenge.
That wasn't as bad as I thought, but they're kind of far apart.
Fact about the disease.
The Lyme Challenge.
Because early cases of Lyme disease were discovered in Lyme, Connecticut. Yorn was bedridden for 3 years because of Lyme disease, but he showed no signs of that tonight. Rookie season looking good. The 16-year-old battled all the way to Ferris wheel. Watch those hands. Yeah. And that could be enough to get him into the semifinals.
That is how my run went. I made it all the way to Ferris wheel, which it definitely wasn't a bad run for me. However, I was definitely looking for a buzzer there. So we'll watch the behind the scenes so you can kind of see some of the parts that they cut. So this was a bit of an intro to my story, and them doing the Lyme Challenge really meant a lot to me because it's just getting more awareness out there for Lyme disease, and that's my entire goal of doing this, just stepping onto that starting line so I can show people that are struggling with Lyme disease or just illness in general that they can overcome whatever obstacles they're facing. So it was a really big deal for me. Yeah, all right, let's watch the behind the scenes clip, and then I'll give you the full insight of everything that went down. But the moment I started, everything just got quiet. I didn't even hear the crowd. Played it safe on the quad steps, just didn't want to make an early mistake. I took the extra backswing on flywheels. I mean, these are things that were definitely linkable, and there was a couple people that did link, but it just wasn't worth it for me. And then I was starting to gain my confidence as I got past the first 2 obstacles. And the log runner, I'd actually trained this in training, and that was really cool. I was super hyped after that. So this is where things kind of started to go sideways a little bit. I started taking too many swings. I just wasn't kicking in the right direction. A lot of people that linked it did it a lot more efficiently, and I actually think that it was the play to link, but I just wasn't confident enough to do that. So I mean, I took way too many swings on the first one. That shouldn't have happened. But I was over gripping every obstacle. I'd never done that in a competition before, but just it was a weird feeling being above water and just actually being on the big stage. But it was visioning in, and it almost felt like a dream, with all the lights, and it was so surreal. Once I got off, I was just I felt the adrenaline and the nerves, and everything in my mind was just telling me go. So after a couple seconds, I just went. So I hop on the Ferris wheel after just a tiny bit of rest, which I should have taken the full. And I thought I was okay. But once I hop up there, I start kind of feeling it. I'm feeling it a bit. And yeah, when I'm up there, it was kind of a fight. I was just pulling. They were pretty grippy, but they still were pretty small. They had a small lip. I made that first drop, so I made the first drop, and I was like, okay, I think I got this. And the moment I get over to that second wheel, I flash pump. My arms just give out on me. I wasn't sure what happened. It could have been from all the over gripping, and then also all the wasted energy and swings on spin cycle, I think, caught up to me. But yeah, I wasn't too disappointed with that run, and it was literally a dream come true. I mean, if I were to tell 7-year-old me that this was happening, I wouldn't believe it. So it was amazing. Like, I'm kind of gonna share some of the stuff that went into it before. So it's crazy that like all of this training that I've done over the past few years, and even just the months leading up to it, led to this. So it obviously started with you have to send in an application video and fill out an application to apply on American Ninja Warrior, and so I sent that in about June. They actually just opened the application for season 18, so I'm working on that one right now, and hopefully I'll be back for a second season. But so what goes into that is you send in an application video, that's your audition, and then after that you pretty much are just waiting for the next 2 months or so. And at the end of August, I was already so right after I sent in my application, I started training like I knew that I was going to be on the show, because to me, I thought it was more worth it to be prepared and actually like ready. Even if I didn't get the call, I was still going to improve from that. So I was already going in with the mentality like I'm getting on this year, like I need to get my story out there, and I just have a really good feeling about this. So on August 27th, I'm asleep in my room. I was sleeping in. Hear my mom like running down the hallway, like screaming, and she like opens my door and she's like, "You got the call! You got the call!" And I'm like, "What? What?" I'm like rubbing my eyes, and I'm like the lights on, and I'm all like disoriented. I thought it was like a dream or something, and the casting agent's on the phone, and she's like, "Congratulations, like you've just been selected for season 17 of American Ninja Warrior." And that was literally like honestly one of the best moments of my life. Going just from the lows of being like bedridden and losing out on years of my life to Lyme disease, to stepping out on a stage like this and showing other people that they can overcome their obstacles, and just doing what I love. Like, it was just so much fun even being out there. Like, for me, even stepping up there, that was a win. Even if I fell on like the first obstacle. So like everything after that was just like icing on the cake. So I was just so happy with that, and I still can't even believe it's real. But okay, so right before my run, this is where things get a little interesting. So the day before, so all of the teams, we have to be in a classroom and do our schoolwork while we're pretty much so we can be on set. Since we're kind of being taken away from school. So I spent some time doing that. I made some really good friends, and overall, that was an amazing experience. And then, so what happened was, so the following day, actually for me, because I'm from California, I had to do school every day. So the day I competed, I also had to do school. So right after school, got on the bus and headed over for filming. And when I got there, I was surprisingly calm. Like, it was really weird. I almost felt like I was gonna like fall asleep when I was like watching the first few runners. And I'm like, "Mom, I'm so tired." And then like I see somebody eat it on the first obstacle. And that's when I start to panic. I'm like, um, is that gonna happen to me? Like, I was starting to get in my head about it, and was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And that's kind of when the doubt was creeping in. And there's been a lot of moments in my life where things like that have happened, and that was just another obstacle to be overcome. But thanks to my mom and support from all the other ninjas, I was able to calm down. In the moment I was sitting on those stairs to step up to the starting line, something really clicked. Like, I really realized, all I could think about was why I was doing this and who I was doing this for. All of the people struggling like me, and it was that's when I realized, like, I got this. Like, when I was sitting there, with my mom before she went off to the sidelines, I felt like this wave of confidence, because like I knew that I was meant to be there. So and then when I stepped up to the starting line, they had me take a bite out of Lyme. So I took a bite out of Lyme, build awareness for Lyme disease. They didn't show that here, but I know Matt and Akbar took a bite out of Lyme, which was amazing. Just getting more awareness out there for Lyme disease. And then I threw the Lyme to the side. So I threw it to the side. And then I'd never taken a bite out of Lyme before my run. I actually felt like it was almost like a smelling salt. Like, I felt like an adrenaline boost, and then like all the nerves went away, and like the crowd just kind of started to fade out, and I just took like deep breaths and just calmed myself, and then before I knew it, I was just like on the course, and it was so surreal part. So I'm gonna be giving my top 3 moments from that episode, from other competitors, and just like really cool moments that. All right, so in my number 3 spot, I'm kind of combining this one. So I'm actually giving it to the 3 women that all hit buzzers that night. That was amazing to see 3 women get buzzers in qualifying, especially Megan Rowe and Katie Bone. Just after seeing their stories and seeing like all the adversity they'd faced with their injuries and seeing them hit buzzers. I mean, what I love so much about this show is messages like that are really what inspire people the most and show them that they really can overcome the obstacles in their lives. Whether it's on the course or in life, you really can overcome those obstacles. And I think they displayed that with their runs, which I was really impressed by. In the number 2 spot, I'm actually giving this to Colton Scooster. So he's actually one of my new training partners. Bro, he's making some big moves. And then flies through log runner, no problem. And then he sets perfectly. So he's 1-2, 1-2. That was really smooth. On final draw, I mean, this is a hard obstacle to be efficient on. Like, obviously, you saw what happened to me. And he's just flying through this. And up the wall, fastest time of the night. Amazing to see. It was such a cool run. And our number 1 spot for my favorite moment of episode 2 was Max Manson. He's also another one of my training partners. He trains at Traverse. Runs across log runner, and then he literally falls onto his stomach onto the 3rd log. So he falls onto the 3rd log, and he's stuck. So he transfers his feet back to the previous one. We've seen people save this before, but they got stuck on the last one. So he's stuck in the middle here. And then he jumps to the next, takes it to the stomach again, and then he still holding on. He spent, let's see, a minute here just fighting, which was amazing, bro. Like this was a crazy save. And then he jumps off. He makes it. So that was the craziest save of the night. Unfortunately, because he spent so much energy, it kind of caught up to him on Ferris wheel and he went down there. But overall, amazing run by Max. Really happy with how he did. He crushed it. I want to thank all of you that have supported me throughout this journey. There's so many of you that have helped me with training or just helped support me with, my battle against Lyme disease that I'm still facing. And that's been huge for me, and that's been big motivation for me to just get to where I have already. So I appreciate all of you, and it really means a lot to me. Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more Ninja Warrior content. And yeah, thank you all for your support, and I'm just so grateful for all of you that have supported me throughout this journey, and can't wait for you guys to see me in the semifinals.